I believe, or maybe 2 nights ago. I forget exactly, but yeah, they haven't really shown me too much. That's like I'd say competitor worthy. But also, what I will say is the Clippers here. Kawhi's just coming back here. He's just starting to kind of get his legs underneath him a little bit more. I'll say. Yeah, he had a nice little game. I think it was against whoever you guys played last there.
Yeah.
He ended up dropping 20 something or whatever on not that many shots. So he's starting to look a little bit more like himself. Still, definitely needs to just get the motion back, if you will. I don't know if you've really been paying the closest attention, but he definitely, I would say, doesn't look 100%. Um, Definitely not like I would say like in a bad way. Just needs to get the conditioning up. I think just needs to get back in the swing of it. Not I think maybe injury wise. I think hopefully he should be okay. I obviously never want to see any injuries with any players, but like yeah, you definitely want to see him get back out there and start to make a difference for that team. So we will see. I personally am curious to see what the line's going to be for that game tomorrow. So
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? What do you think if you had a early line for the game? What are your thoughts?
3.5, 4.5.
Is it at
Probably.
your guys' new stadium or is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah,
This is the first one that
this is
it
officially
is
okay.
in
Yeah.
LA. So yeah, no.
So this is
It'll
actually a
be
home court advantage though now for the Lakers Clippers matchup. That is another thing I actually will say I'm looking forward to just kind of seeing the new dynamic. Really, when they get to, it's always Staples Center, not Crypto. So once we get back there, it'll be. I'm curious just to see the different. It's going to be different. I'll say.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so I'm curious. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I kind of like the line there. I would maybe even push it to 5.5. Um, Not in my favor. um, well, maybe it is actually my favor. I can take all the points I can get, but yeah, I
Hey,
think the
hey,
Clippers.
yeah.
I think the Clippers will be favored in it, but I think they'll also come out with a lot of energy at the new stadium. It's obviously not like a renewed rivalry. It's just kind of it's a different little feeling with it. I will say, with the new stadium, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, no, no, no. New stadium, and this is the first year that this rivalry doesn't have Paul George. Paul George has been there for the last 4 years, so that'll be I don't care about him. That'll that'll be different though. But yeah, man. I mean, the Clippers they're looking solid. They competing out there. I didn't think that they were going to be fighting really for the 4 seed at this time of year. But I mean, honestly, they're still there. They're sitting there. Like you said, at 23-17. I gotta say is Norman Powell All Star, James
No,
Harden. You could put him in All Star talks as well. Norman Powell. If it wasn't for him, I think especially in that time that Kawhi was out for the
oh
past
yeah,
first 4 months, we wouldn't really be as good as we are. But Storm Norman is the real deal. That's all. That's all I gotta say.
yeah.
Looking, looking at that game, that'll be huge because Clippers are only up a half game against the Lakers in the
hmm
standings. So essentially, it's for whoever's going to be the 5 spot. So it's for that 5-6 seats because that's where they're sitting right now. Um, yeah, man, that'll be very interesting to see, how that kind of plays out. And yeah, I'm glad that Kawhi will be suiting up for that game. Bearing that nothing happens within the
Yeah.
next 40, 36 hours. But I'm pretty confident that he'll be there. So we will definitely be tuned in on Sunday night for some Sunday night basketball
Oh, yeah.
entertainment to the
Absolutely.
Lakers Clippers at 9 p.m. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. While we talk about the standings, let's just go through those real fast. Look at those because we at the halfway point. We'll stay in the Western Conference. OKC obviously just staying at
Dominating
that
right
one
now. Yeah.
spot. You're running away with it.
Dude,
The
the Rockets.
Rockets.
Yeah, Rockets are shocking me right now. 27-13. Like they're putting it together. Like they're playing some good team ball. They obviously have got kind of the right pieces. And they're hooping. I can't lie.
Jalen Green's having a nice season as well. I
Yeah,
can't lie.
he is.
He's having
He
a
is.
really good, productive season. And then after that, you have uh, the Grizzlies, who I said may have one of the best records. Well, I said second best record in the league, but I mean they're sitting right there at 27-15, third in the West. I said that the Grizzlies were going to be, a problem. Now that they're healthy and things like that, it's looking out. It's looking pretty good for them. Nuggets at 4, and like I said, Clippers and Lakers. And of course, you get to the battle for who's going to make the plan. Dallas, Minnesota, Sacramento, Phoenix, Golden State. I mean, and really the Spurs are not out of it as well. They're only a game down from that 10 spot. So yeah, what are just your thoughts about the Western Conference standings and specifically, that play-in that we're looking at right there?
Yeah, so just real quick too, like a team. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily. Like, I mean, it's definitely a shock to see the Mavericks. I think sitting down there at 23-19. They got the 7th seed in the West right now. But really, they just like they've been a shell of themselves because injuries have just depleted that team. Like
Yeah.
Kyrie's been out, last he just returned last game or whatnot, but he was out the last 5 games before that. The game he does come back, Derek Lively, goes down. So it's just like again, they can't stay healthy. They've lost 8 of the last 10 right now. Like they're not playing the greatest basketball. So I think once they kind of start to get healthier, we're going to see them start to jump up there. I believe because I think that's a team that's definitely more of a 4, even 3 seed type of caliber there. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying they'll get that high, just because again, you once you kind of get in this sort of spot too, it's definitely hard to climb like all the way up there. But I think once they get healthy, they'll definitely see some improvement there. But yeah, the Kings obviously, um, they've been on the up and come up here, which I'll give you some credit here. I don't know if people saw on social media when they fired Mike Brown. Shawn, I think you're on social media saying, "Yo, this is going to change some things up. I think this team's going to start to head in the right direction." Fast forward, what month now or whatever it may be there.
Yeah.
8-2 is there something? The last 10 games. I mean, they've been really playing some good ball. They've been one of those teams that's so like slowly starting to climb up those ranks there. You kind of expected something would jamming with them, just because I mean they have some talent. They're definitely a solid squad, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, um, definitely was kind of shocked to see them so low, but then yeah, kind of again climbing the ranks back up again with kind of a late season surge for sure. But one team I definitely want to point out too, the Warriors. Kind of sitting there at that 2020. Um, they just kind of speaking on the whole trade, they got to make something happen there. Um, they got to make something happen for sure. I think they need to go after a big man. They got to go after the Bulls' big man specifically. They got to get Vooch on their
Mm.
team. I personally,
Mm.
he's a dog. He's an absolute dog right now. I don't know. Last night too, actually, just speaking on, he dropped like 40 something or whatever. I don't know. Dude was
Yeah.
a absolute bucket. Um, he's had a pretty good season with the Bulls so far. I will say he's been kind of doing his thing, but they need just some interior presence. They need someone who can get you a bucket down low. He's got some good moves. He's got some good rebounding abilities there. So I think again, if you just kind of get a couple guys like a guy like that, maybe add a couple other side pieces there, see what you can do with it. Because I don't think they're. I would say. I mean, I don't know if they're going to win any type of basketball championship, but you know, they're definitely still up there competing, and they're still making it tough for everybody else. I think if they can get somebody else, especially like a good addition, like a big man on their squad.
Yeah. No, no, and I want to talk about that Warriors, trade a little bit too. I just think it's so crazy because Warriors were, I mean, they were up there 12-3 to start the season through the first 15
Oh,
games, and then 8-17 in their since. Like that's just crazy. And then they made a trade, but for just the wrong guy. And I was actually talking about this with somebody last night. It just doesn't make sense why I just don't understand why they made that trade. Like, yes, okay, if you wanted another ball handler, that's fine. But having him at the same time as Stephen Curry, it's a little odd. Just because I thought, Buddy would stay in that starting 2 role, but he's kind of fell off the wayside too, which has been one of the reasons
yeah,
why Golden State has just been trash.
yeah. He
Honestly,
hasn't been good.
yeah, yeah. And honestly, I suggested this, and I haven't looked at like the trade machine to see if it's actually possible. But it's time for the Warriors to give up these young guys. Steph and Draymond, they've kind of said like we don't want to give up, all our young pieces or future draft picks, for just one guy for right now. But at the same time, if you're Golden State, you have to think about it. Are you going to give something up now to maybe it doesn't have to be an immediate win now piece, but it can be like, all right, something that at least puts you in the playoff, give Steph at least till round 2, maybe. Or you essentially trade Steph and it's storybook ending right
That's
there in Golden
full.
State.
Yeah, it's full rebuild. I mean, that's. I mean, it's tough because, like I mentioned, there is like unless you really make a big addition, I don't. I guess I don't see them competing for championships. I see them like making it difficult in the playoffs and maybe trying to make some sort of run, but I don't. At the end of the day, I just don't see them getting it done anymore without an additional piece there, right? Because right now, like you mentioned, the Buddy Hield one that's really affecting them. I think, in my opinion, the biggest there, just because he hasn't been that guy. He was supposed to be, the Splash Bros going to come in there. They talked about all his, his 3 point percentage is this. He's going to start doing this, just getting more volume, and it hasn't really worked. Maybe it worked for a little bit at the start of the season there, but then it just kind of faded out quickly. Lightning McQueen style. And so it's just like I think personally, if they don't do anything major, I'm not far from. I mean, I don't know if necessarily the trade Steph route is accurate. I mean, definitely, almost throwing in the towel sort of thing, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know if Jimmy Butler is up to that, and I want to talk about that a little bit later. But I'm just saying, Golden State, if you can throw in Wiggins, maybe Moody, Pods, and maybe a couple seconds for Jimmy Butler, I wouldn't mind that because I mean Wiggins is Andrew Wiggins. He's gonna give you
Yeah.
either 15 or he's gonna give you 8. It's no in between. And then same thing with the young guys too. I just haven't seen anything that really makes them stand out or whatnot. So, and that was their whole thing of why they didn't, trade for like Paul George, to sign and trade. They didn't want to give up a young piece or not whatnot. So yeah, I I honestly don't know what the Warriors can do, but it's they could make the plan. I don't know. It depends on, like you said, Sacramento. They kind of turn things around. Phoenix, they've struggling. But I mean the Spurs, and I do want to point out because we're at the halfway point. You said the Spurs would have a better record than the Clippers.
That was a very hot take. Very
It
hot
was a
take.
very hot take, but I will give you, they still have. I
It's
mean,
not
they're only
far
two
out, I
games
will
from
say.
400, 500. Yeah, and they're only, like I said, 2 games out of the 8 seed. So like they're still there. They're still in it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, 1921 is solid. I mean, again, I mean, Victor also. I got will say, let's give him his flowers right now
oh
too.
yeah,
He's. I mean, I think we all knew he was going to be pretty good, but like he's really showcasing it now, and I think he's got the ability to turn it on. And I wouldn't say. I mean, I'd almost argue he can win games right then and there, right here, right now, and
yeah,
year two, right where he's at. So, um, just get him some more confidence. Just keep him going, and I think again the West is just going to be tough. I mean, I'm not like I said, it was a hot take. I still stand by it. I still think that could happen there, um, but yeah, I think it's just yeah. Well, we'll see. It's more probably realistically, give it 3 years, and then I think absolutely Spurs will be probably better. But it's like one of those things. It's like we'll see. I'm intrigued to see what he can do for the Spurs, and again, like you mentioned, 19 and 21. Like if you're gonna see, the Warriors, Suns, like who knows what we're gonna see. I mean, Timberwolves haven't looked great either. We haven't really mentioned them too much. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns seems to be a pretty big piece if you do say so myself. But
yeah,
um, so we'll see. Like some of those teams, like I'm not sold on some of them. Like they're not. I mean, I was big on the Timberwolves before, and then I wanted to see what they do. I thought Anthony Edwards could do a little bit more for this team, but it just seems like they're just not gelling right now. I mean, they're still 22 and 19. It's not like they're like by any means out of anything, but it's just definitely
yeah.
not where you would think that they would be, considering where they were last year. So we'll see. The West is definitely intriguing for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. And yeah, I mean, like you said, Karl Anthony Towns may have been a very big piece of
Hmm.
that, and Julius Randle just hasn't worked out. So yeah, interested to see, how that kind of plays out, especially that 7-8, those last two playoff teams guaranteed, and then you got the 9-10, which I mean is still basically, like I said, a game and a half. So anything is possible in the Western Conference, and
Gee.
it'll probably won't be decided until the final game of the season. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
uh,
usually how it goes.
yeah, nobody's getting any clarity anytime soon. Let's go to the Eastern Conference. Obviously, same thing like in the West. In the East, you have the best team, Cleveland Cavs. Kind of shocked everyone. Boston Celtics at 2, 29-12. Knicks at 3 with 27-16. Then you have the Bucks, the Pacers, the Magic, and then going 7 through 10, the Hawks at 21-19. Pistons at 21-20. Heat at 20-20, and then the Bulls at 18-24. Game and a half of the 76ers for that last playing spot. Before I hand it over to you, I just want to say the Pistons will make playoffs. I've said before the season started, and I still stand on that because they're only a game and a half out of the 5 seed, 2 games out of the 4 seed. Anything is possible.
No, yeah. No, you're speaking the truth. The Pistons will make the playoffs this year. The Heat, the Bulls, the 76ers, they're all cooked, especially the Sixers. The process is cooked officially. I think they just need to go back to what they were doing before and having the worst record in the NBA. Just go for that first pick. Just don't draft Ben Simmons. Don't draft Joel. Just get somebody else. Yeah, they're cooked. All of them are just gone. The Pistons, however, they are on the up and coming here. They've got some dogs. We will definitely be doing another video later with a hardcore Pistons fan.
Absolutely.
Get his 2 cents on his team this year and what's what he expects out of them, I should say. But yeah, other than that though, like Pacers have been on an absolute tear as of lately. There, like before, I mean, they were Tyrese was not playing great. It definitely showed. They were, I forget the exact record last I saw, whatever it was, but it was not good. But again, now 7-1 in the last 8 games, kind of putting some things together. They're holding down that 5 spot right now. Um, Again, they've put it together just like I'd say the Bucks have kind of put together, some things as well. Kind of Doc was on the hot seat at the very start of the season. It was like, oh, this is bad. I know we were on his case, and so yeah, to see them, kind of at that 23-17, they're again doing what they should be doing. It's the Bucks. I'm not,
Yeah.
this is exactly what they should be doing. So again, that the East, in my opinion, I think is a little bit more kind of, I wouldn't say set, but I kind of like some of like those top 4 teams. Like I think like those are the teams, in my opinion, like that have the actual chance at coming out, kind of doing something there. I don't see it changing too much. I could see the Celtics just kind of continuing to do what they do, and the Cavs maybe falling off a little bit, and just seeing the Celtics go back up to 1, maybe. But if not, I mean. Cavs 1, I see that. Celtics 2. I see the Knicks and Bucks maybe flip flopping just back and forth between the season, and one of them. But again, that's my top 4 in the East. In my opinion, there.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah, I think the only way now you're at the point in the season where I was actually watched Jason Tatum's interview the other day after they lost to the Pelicans, talking about, oh yeah, we're just struggling right now. We're struggling right now. I think they may be a one and done team. I'm not gonna lie. As far as like championships, I don't think that they have the poise to be able to repeat. I think Jason Tatum is just, I don't know if he's in his head or whatnot, but like he just at times that I've watched him, he's just like not performing the same that he did last year. But I mean, they'll still make playoffs and probably go to the Eastern Conference Finals because regardless, I don't think the Cavs are going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They can stay the number 1 seed, but I think they're a second round exit depending on who they play. I just we've seen this movie before with Donovan Mitchell teams. He has a big man. He has a couple big men. There, he's able to do his thing. Yeah, Darius Garland, he's thriving. Ben Good, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. That's good. But then their bench, terrible. Like, George Niang, Karis LeVert, like okay, it's nice, but I don't know how much you'll be able to rely on that come playoff time, when you got to play Knicks starting 5 that's literally going to play the entire game, or the
Yes.
Bucks, something like that. Um,
Yeah. No, that's true.
but the Celtics, I still think that they'll be able to kind of put something together. I just don't know if they'll be winning the NBA championship. They may still represent the East. I don't know if they win the NBA
Hmm.
championship this year.
No, that's fair. I definitely would not put them as a lock. The way the Thunder are playing,
Yeah,
uh, I wouldn't put anything. I mean, the Thunder are playing really good ball.
they are. They are. And I'll touch on this because you mentioned this, and I was thinking about this. The other day I watched a clip from Gilbert Arenas podcast. He had said something about
Mm.
OKC, how their window is kind of like now. Like OKC only has 1 to 2 years to win the championship, and that's because their contracts, like all of them, basically are still on rookie contracts, right? Shea's gonna finna break the bank. I do think that's possible, and then you got Jalen Williams, who still has to be paid, Chet, who still has to be
Dog.
paid, and with this new CBA and everything, I honestly think that yes, they may make the finals this year, and if they win it, that's good because I honestly think this is a repeat of James Harden when he got traded. I think that's essentially what's going to happen. One of those guys, whether it's Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet, or someone else, is going to get traded just because they can't all paint. Yeah, so they're playing good, and I I'm not gonna say they're my favorite to win it right now, but they're definitely up there. But yeah, I just think they gotta. It means a little bit more to them than the Celtics, to kind of
Yeah,
compete
I feel
and
that.
win this regular season and do good. But back to the East, he's mentioned the Pacers and the Magic. The Magic haven't had. They just got Paulo back, I think, last week. They don't
Yeah,
even have
finally.
Franz. So I honestly think that they could jump up, maybe to the 5, possibly even the 4 seed. Because number one, here's the thing for the Bucks: you got Doc Rivers.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
was
I'm
gonna say
saying.
that's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say. They got Doc. I'm not sold on the Bucks. Like I said, postseason success. I got no faith in them. I don't think I got more faith in the Hawks, honestly, to do more in the playoffs than I do the Bucks. Like Bucks are obviously more skilled. They have more talent, but like you said, Bucks have Doc Rivers. It's just that's all it comes down to in my eyes.
And I think if they see the Magic in that first round of the playoffs, I
Oh,
think the Magic win that. I do think the Magic win that.
I think
Maybe
if they get him first
6-7
round.
games.
I think
Yeah,
if they get him first round. Hmm. I think if they see him like second round or something like that somehow, I don't know. I just don't think Giannis could do that. I don't know. I think he'd go great, but like I don't know. First round, maybe first game you're a little more lackadaisical, and then second game, so and then they get a 2-0. I mean, I could see it. I could easily see the Magic taking that one if the Magic Bucks played in the first round.
yeah. Especially if Franz comes back healthy and
Oh yeah.
hoops like he was. Finn and Paulo put it together, and then the rest of the team, like they were playing well when they were out. So when they come back, I think they definitely have a chance to make some noise.
I
So
mean,
maybe
yeah.
they're
Oh yeah.
allowed. Might have to cue the music, like they say. Cue the
Cue
music.
the music. Hey, come on, you tapped in.
Yeah, man. And then last thing I want to bring up, in the East, well, a couple things we got to discuss before we end it here. You mentioned Miami Heat and the whole Jimmy Butler
Yes.
fiasco. Do you think that he's going to stay, or do you think he's going to get traded? Where is he going to get traded to if you think he's gone?
Dude, I mean, Pat Riley is a unique individual. He's calculated. He's a very smart man. Um, I think he knows that Jimmy doesn't want to be there. Like obviously, like everybody else, it's just. I mean, you gotta be smart with it, and you gotta actually get. You can't just get dump him off for a bag of chips or something. I think it's just hearing out the offers, making sure that you're actually getting something that. Like, hey, this is Jimmy Butler. He is a dog. Obviously, it's just not working out here anymore. And so they're going to lose him. Like that's not a they're going to lose him. It's just I think they need to. I wouldn't say they're going to wait the full season or anything like that, but I think they're gonna do something later, like probably the latest possible point they can.
Mm,
Um, And I like again, like we're gonna see what the Warriors do. I think if the Warriors do end up going after someone like Vooch or something, I think that could change some things. I don't think cause that would be my thing right now. I would kind of say like Warriors would kind of be where like a team that I would have them go into there. But like the thing is, I just don't know. You just don't know what the Warriors are kind of going after. I don't know if they want to basically like you were mentioning earlier, almost like replace Wiggins, put Jimmy buckets in there, and obviously Warriors give up a couple more guys like Moody maybe, some draft picks. Like, do you want to send it that route or not? So it's going to be interesting, but I would probably lean toward him getting traded for sure. Just don't know the team. I'd say maybe lean Warriors if I had to say anything.
I like that. That Warriors trade, it makes sense. I just don't think. Part of me, I just don't think that, especially after watching the interviews last night, I don't think that he is going to. He wants to be traded, but I don't
Yes,
think he's going to be traded. I don't think. I think Pat Riley's playing with him, and they're going to make him wait out. He's going to play the rest of the season, and then they're going to trade him in the summer because he does have that that the big contract too, and I think his opt-in next year is like 50 mil. So at that point, it's hard to if he opts in, then obviously okay at that point you have to trade him. So he could
yeah,
use that tactic. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like part of me is like he's gonna get traded, but at the same time, I feel like he stays, makes one last Miami run, and then restarts new season. Because he said he doesn't hate his teammates,
yeah.
or
Some of the
coach or
teammates,
anything.
as he
Yeah,
said, it will all come out to light one day.
yeah.
I'm curious to see what he means by that, but I think it's something with ownership and something with. I mean, it's just it is what it is, and like I said again, they're Pat Riley's he's a very calculated man. He's going to figure out the right trade to do, and I think they're going to get something done.
Yeah,
That'd be my 2 cents.
yeah, yeah. Last thing before we go, the Philadelphia 76ers you mentioned earlier, they just gotta blow it up. Um,
They should.
at what point they're a game and a half from the 10 seed? At what point do you? Because you've mentioned the Bulls. If they end up blowing that, trading Zach LaVine, trading Vucevic, they don't really get anything much back. The Sixers could potentially hop back into that 10 seed and get in the playing spot. Do they make playoffs? Probably not. For the
Jeez.
playing at least. When do you think it's the right time for them to just say, all right, it's quits? Because I think
No,
Joel Embiid's only played like 11 games. Paul
yeah.
George is not playing up to his contract.
Yep.
Tyrese Maxey, he's trying to do everything he can, and the same time, like the rest of the team is just So when do you kind of give it up?
After the season, directly the day after the season ends, you keep Tyrese Maxey, you get rid of Joel Embiid, you get rid of Paul George, you get rid of basically every single other player. Because the thing is, if you're telling me exactly what you just said, and it was perfect. You said if the Bulls, Heat, all of them, like I mentioned, like if some of those teams start to kind of fall off a little bit there, they're not maybe making a playoff push as much. You could see the Sixers team hop up to that 10 seed. We're
Yeah,
talking about this Philadelphia 76ers competing for a 10 seed in the East.
yeah,
Like the Spurs right now they'd be at the 9-10 spot in the East right now. Like that 76ers competing for the 10, that right there is everything you need to know. You have Paul George, you have Tyrese Maxey, and you have Joel Embiid, and you are fighting for the 10 seed. Blow it up immediately after the season's done. Get Tyrese Maxey some other help that's actually got two functioning knees right then and there. And I think honestly, the 76ers will be much better. I swear to you, they need to blow it up after the end of the season, if not before. Just get Tyrese Maxey some serious help because it's done. The process is cooked.
I think yeah, it's just that on the Embiid side of it, it's like how much longer do you go through this? And I guess I can't say much because it's the same thing with Kawhi and the Clippers, but it's just like he gets hurt at the times that it's like the end of the season and there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next season, yeah, he's cooked. But this man, remember, he played in the Olympics, and
Mm-hmm.
then now is get to the season. He hasn't played, injury management, got suspended, and all this stuff, punching reporters. So I was like, man, like when is it that like you'll
Yeah,
actually be able to play at least 5, 6 straight games and try to get some team
can't.
chemistry.
You can't.
Because
I've guaranteed 5 or 6, dude. He couldn't put together 3 straight games. I promise you that. Like it's to the point. Yeah, I'm telling you. If I'm their GM, like, dude, I mean, we like it's great. You can make all this money, fantastic, good for you. But dude, like, I'm paying you to be out there, like to play. Like this isn't. This is it. Just has. It comes to a point where you have to say, dude, I'm done. I'm done watching him. I'm done watching my best player sit right here and just
street
lose me
clothes.
games. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just. I mean, it's frankly like it pissed me off. It would. It'd be again, seeing like you mentioned there, even that too. Like playing in the Olympics, everything's all good. He's fine. He's actually dominating at times, and then gets into the NBA regular season and just done. So,
Disappears essentially. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally, yeah, he's gone. He hasn't done one thing that's memorable so far. We are 40 plus games in. So that's my 2 cents. I think you gotta blow it up. It's cooked. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations. You've seen the process. You watched it unfold, and it didn't go well.
Yeah. And it's about to, it's 2025 now,
Yeah,
so it's about to be 10 years
it's a
of this
decade of this
process
process.
that we've been
It's
watching.
a bad process. Trust me. I've seen a lot better processes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents there.
No, and I agree. It's got to be a point in time where it's got to give it up. And Paul George, that was, oh my gosh, he fleeced the
Please
76ers
don't.
from Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not himself anymore. I think he's just scared to get hurt. Never understood, and I never understood this. When he was on the Clippers, he just never plays like how he's supposed to play. Like it's always he's either trying to do too much or he's not doing anything at all. And it you can never get a consistent Paul George unless it's, against OKC, Indiana, or what's another team he always dominates? I don't know. But it's a team that he always, thinks is just
Yeah.
easy. I don't understand it. But yeah, before we end the show, talk about basketball. We got football playoffs, NFL playoffs. We're coming to an end. This,
Hmm.
the last couple weeks of the season. Divisional round starts on Saturday. As Grant has his Lions jersey. The Lions
Oh,
number one
we
seed
winning
in the
today.
NFC. Yes, sir. How do you just think that this Lions postseason plays out? Hopes it plays out. I think Super Bowl. I'm just saying the Commanders game, we win that. Possibly, I think the Rams could beat the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I
I
think
think
so
we
too.
play the
I think so
Rams.
too.
Yeah, I think we play the Rams at home, and that'll be a good game. Kids, I can't lie. The
I
Rams have
think.
kind of turned
I
their
think.
season
Yeah. I
around.
think. I like the fact that we haven't played the Commanders yet. I'm gonna give a score prediction right here. I think we win the. I think we win the ball game, 38-17.
Okay.
I think we do come out there, and I think we play very well. I think that also Jaden Daniels is going to the noise simply in Ford Field is going to be electric tonight. It's going to be
Oh yeah.
absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
There are people buying gloves online that make it louder when you clap. Did you see that?
Actually,
I'm not kidding. There was a whole thread. It was like a whole bunch of Lions fans, and he sent the link out to a whole bunch of people, and all of them were Lions fans in the comments saying, "Just bought mine with the receipt."
that's kind of
It's
hype though.
all, and they're literally just these black gloves that they just like make more noise when you clap. That's
That's
all it
hype.
is. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna make this a lot. I mean, it's going to be just insane. I'm looking forward to watching it tonight, obviously, but I think the noise is gonna get to Jaden Daniels. I think it's gonna, first road playoff game like this. Or excuse me, not first road playoff game. First time going up against the Lions really like this. I'd say really harsh environment because I wouldn't say Tampa Bay was necessarily like the most hostile environment out there. Definitely a good squad. Nothing against the team itself. Just like you come into Ford Field, I mean it's been talked about all season how loud it is, how just it's a tough place to play. And getting there as a rookie quarterback, just winning one playoff game alone is hard, but winning two I think is really really hard. Um,
Absolutely.
and so it's going to be tough. So that's why I think the Lions definitely got this. But speaking on the whole season, obviously, I hope that we win this one, we win the next one, and then we win the next one. But we're gonna see. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm a little nervous to see who comes out of the. I'd be fine to see the Chiefs. I really would. Um,
Please, I want the Chiefs, low key.
I want the Chiefs. I really don't want either the Ravens or the Bills.
Yeah,
I'm good
no,
on that front. I'm so good. The Texans, even them. I mean, I'd probably want to play the Texans first, Chiefs, and then honestly, you take your pick. I probably would rather play the Ravens than the Bills. I don't know.
nah, I'd rather play Bills rather over the Ravens.
See, I don't know.
I
I go
just
back and forth. I don't know, man. It's gonna be either one. I don't want to play. I mean, either way, I don't want to play the Bills or the
see,
Ravens.
that's
I'll
the
tell you
thing.
that.
If the Lions were to go to the Super Bowl, of course I want the Lions to win. But at the same
Yeah.
time, and this has been my thing with Lamar because I just like Lamar, right? Favorite quarterback in the league. But like, if he goes to the Super Bowl and he plays the Lions, I don't know because like, will I be upset for Detroit? Absolutely, if they lose. But would I be upset if Lamar won? I can't lie. No, I don't know.
You
I
fake
don't
fan.
know. That's for the
You fake
Lamar.
fan. Fake fan.
So, but no, honestly, all I'm saying is, if Lions win this weekend, and then they win next weekend, the city of Detroit might burn.
Oh yeah, dude.
And
I
then
already
if they
told
win the
my.
Super Bowl, the state might burn. So,
I'm really thinking this might just be the year, though. I'm thinking this could be the time we get it done. So we gonna see. It's gonna be interesting. I already told my boss if we make it to the Super Bowl, I ain't gonna be there the next day. So don't expect me. Hope you actually, Rich, if you're watching this, I apologize, but I ain't gonna be there that Monday. Uh,
I will be downtown for the parade. Best believe that.
yeah, oh
Best
yeah,
believe it.
I will not be at work. That is the last place. No one's coming to buy a car. Let me just preface that right there. No one's coming to buy a car. If the Lions win the Super Bowl, I will actually give out a car. I will personally drive one down there and just give it away.
Nah, I hope it happens though, man. That'd be electric
Oh
after,
yeah.
25 years of our lifetime just being trash. And all of a sudden, these last 2 years, you turn around and you win a chip.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'll be more happier in my life. I didn't even think this could happen. You would have talked to 8-year-old me and said, 2025 Lions have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
Anything
Oh, it
is
looked
possible, man.
crazy.
Anything is possible. Come on. I believe it, KG.
Man, I believe, bro. That's yeah. So, that's this weekend. And then the championship games are next weekend. So obviously, we'll look into those next week on our next episode of Ballin' Out. But for now, that's all we got. Go Lions, and we'll catch you guys next time.